Hi girls, this is for 8K, solving equations from fractions. Let's just recall what we did in year 7 and 8 with fractions and equations. We might have had something like this. Get a new pen. And when we were asked to solve that, we said, okay, what's happening to the x? It's being divided by 6, and so we multiplied by 6 on both sides of the equation and got x equals 12. When you look back at it, you go, yeah, 12 divided by 6 is 2, so that's fine. And maybe even we had something like this. And we would multiply by both sides by 3 to get that out from under this big thing. Some people like to use these little arrows. And then we would take 5. But we had ways of, kind of getting rid of the fractions in equations. So that's what we're going to focus on today a little bit. So when we look at this, we might want to find a common denominator. And the common denominator of these two is 6. I can leave the 7 over there. And I'd say, okay, what did I do to the 3 to get the 6? I multiplied by 2, so I have to multiply the top by 2. And what did I do to the 2 to get the 6? I multiplied by 3, so I'll have to multiply the top by 3. And then I can add the tops. And now I just have what I had in year 7 or 8. So times by 6, 7x equals 42. Divide by 7, x equals 6. Okay, so just that little bit there. Now sometimes the problem gets a bit ratty, gets a bit harder. So I'm going to teach you something here which I think is quite easy, and it's nice. And I'm going to call it clearing fractions, because I'd rather do a problem that has no fractions at all in it, and so I can do that with this problem. What I have to do first is I have to kind of box off both sides, and I have to decide what the least common denominator is. So to me it looks like it's 15, and then I multiply on both sides by that. So I do times by 15 times by 15. Alright, when you multiply this 15, and I'm going to call it 15 over 1 just for the heck of it. 15 over 1 times this thing. Then I have a minus sign there. And I have 15 over 1 times this thing, this fraction. And 1 times 15 is just 15. What happens is that I can do this canceling out that I've been doing the last couple of days, where I can say, okay, well, 5 goes into 15 3 times. So that's 3. I got to use some brackets, because remember that thing in itself is a bracket. So I put this binomial in a bracket, and then the minus sign. 3 goes into 15 5 times. And now I do my expanding, and I'm going to go quite quickly. Negative times a negative is a positive. Then I combine like terms. Combine like terms, then divide by negative 2. Right, subtract or add 1 and divide by negative 2. Alright, great. Alright, I'm going to have this video end, and then I'll do these next two questions that are a bit harder.